everybody. Welcome to a lovely short session of yoga. So we begin in a nice comfortable seated position. Take a moment to relax, close your eyes and just place your hands upon your knees, palms facing down. With your eyes closed, this week we're celebrating the equinox. It was on the 20th of March. That lovely balance between day and night. So we're going to explore some poses that bring us into harmony this week. But for now, you can just close your eyes and silently repeat this lovely intention to yourself. I find harmony in my life. I am balanced and centered. I find harmony in my life. I am balanced and centered. Once again, I find harmony in my life. I am balanced and centered. We'll blink our eyes open. We'll do this beautiful breath work to bring some lovely balance and harmony to the body. So it's really, really simple. We're just going to inhale for the count of 4, bringing the hands and pressing the palms together in front. And then exhaling through the mouth for the count of 4. We're going to turn the palms out and bring the backs of the hands together at the back. So if that's too much, you can just leave your tippy fingers down onto the earth. So we're inhaling forward, pressing the palms together. Exhaling, it's like we're swimming the hands around and back of the palms together. Inhaling all the way forward for the count of 4, press the palms. And then exhaling all the ways back. The count of 4, pressing the backs of the hands together. Now they mightn't reach, so that's fine. You can just, as I said, leave them on the floor. So we're breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathe in, breathe out. Let's continue just for a few more rounds. Two more rounds. One more. Okay, so we're going to now come on to our backs. We're going to lie down. We're going to start with a nice big body stretch, lying down onto our backs. I'll just move my dumbbell out of the way. So you're stretching out the body and you're just simply inhaling the hands up and back, lengthening through the fingertips, pointing the toes, feeling that opening in the front of the body. And then exhale, floating the hands back down to the earth. So we're going to breathe in through our nose, lengthen, make it active. So you're really stretching the entire body. And then exhaling, floating back down, hands alongside the body. Let's do 3 more. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one. We're going to come into cobbler pose now. So we're bringing the soles of our feet together. And I like to place my left hand on my belly and my right hand onto my belly. So in cobbler, we're pressing the soles of the feet together. And we're going to come into a little butterfly movement now. So we're just going to move the knees up and down. So like butterfly wings, excuse me, we're just moving the knees up and down gently. And we're here for another 3 breaths. Breathing deeply into the belly. One more breath. We're going to take the hands out now into a T shape, but our palms are going to face down onto the floor. This just gives us that little bit of extra support. We'll draw the belly button back towards the spine, and on the inhale, we lift those hips high up. So we're keeping the soles of the feet pressed together, and then exhale, we come back down to the earth. Inhaling, lifting the hips up, keeping the soles of the feet together, and then exhaling back down. Breathing in lifted cobbler, breathing out back to the earth. We've 2 more rounds. Breathing in lifted cobbler, and then breathing out. Last round. Breathing in, and then breathing out all the way back down. We're going to place the hands now underneath the buttocks, take the heels to the ceiling, and flex the toes back towards the head. This is your inhale. We'll do some leg lifts, and on the exhale, you're allowing those heels to float back down to the earth, but you're just hovering them off the floor. Again, belly button is glued into that spine as you inhale the heels to the ceiling, flex the toes at the top, and then exhaling nice and slow and controlled, floating those straight legs down to hover off the mat. Breathing in, breathing out. So we're staying with the breath in through the nose, and then we're going to breathe out through the mouth for now. Let's do 2 more of these leg lifts. Breathing in, breathe out, toning up the tummy, turning on those lovely core muscles. Breathing in, breathing out. We're going to come up now once more again. So inhaling all the ways up into mountain. Exhale, come into that V shape with the legs. Inhaling, close, and then exhale, tap the toes back down onto the earth. Inhaling, mountain. Exhale into your V. Inhale, press the feet together, and exhale, tap down onto the ground. Let's do a few more. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Let's do 2 more. So we like to exaggerate our breath just a little bit in our yoga practice, because we're just going to get the most out of it. It's not that we have that opportunity during the day to do that. So it's good to do it in your yoga practice. Simply here now, we're going to extend our legs long. You're going to take your hands out from underneath the buttocks. You're going to stretch into this body stretch once again. And then simply here, you're going to bring the hands, float them back down to the floor. You're going to slide your heels along the floor and come in to squeeze the knees to the chest. Now we're going to drive that energy through the heels as we lengthen and stretch the hands back and drop the heels to the floor. Inhaling, we're sliding them along, bringing the knees to the chest, hands back down to the side, then pushing through the heels all the way out and lengthen and back onto the earth. So we're inhaling, hands come down, knees squeeze into the chest, then exhaling, going through the heels, lengthening the body, and then dropping the heels down. Let's do 1 more. Breathing in, squeeze the knees into the chest, hands go down, and then breathing out, lengthen through the heels, reaching the hands back, and then drop the feet down. Well done. Let's take that right knee into the chest, give it a little squeeze in, and then you're going to simply bring the left knee with it, squeeze those in and rock from side to side. Just gently rocking from side to side. And then when you are ready, we're going to cross at the ankles, take hold of the feet if it's available to you today. Take a nice big inhale, and we're going to rock up into a seated position. And up we go. So we're going to keep going, and we're going to roll over onto our hands and our knees, coming into that table position. I'll get back here in line with the screen. So We're going to find that table position, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, and have a little look down. The knees are hip distance apart. We're going to do a little massage to begin with. So drop the belly, turn the tail up towards the sky, lift the chin towards the sky, glancing up. Exhaling, you're going to tuck the tailbone underneath, pushing the floor away and bringing the chin towards the chest. So making a lovely wave movement, inhaling, bring that wave all the ways to the crown, and then exhaling, finding some space in between those vertebrae, tucking the tail under. Let's do 2 more, breathing in, and then breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. On your next inhale, you're going to take that right leg long. So we're inhaling here, dialing the toes down. Big inhale, looking, just glancing up. Exhale, you're rounding your spine, bringing your knee to your right elbow. Inhale, lengthen the leg long again, looking up. And this time it's like half a chaturanga. We're just going to gently come down. You can bring the forehead or the nose towards the earth. Inhaling, lengthen. Exhaling, knee to elbow. Inhaling, lengthen. Exhaling, nose tips the floor. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's do 1 more. Breathe in, breathing out. Breathing in, lengthen. Then breathing out. Half chaturanga. And come back, and we're going to do the opposite side now. So we'll go straight into it. Left leg is long, toes are dialed down. You're looking forward. Big inhale. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhaling, lengthen, looking up. And then exhaling, that chaturanga, nose touches the ground. Breathe in, round the spine as you bring the knee to the elbow. Breathing in, lengthen, looking up, and then exhaling, nose taps the ground. Half a chaturanga. Let's do 2 more. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. 1 more. Breathe in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Well done. Come back. We'll sit back onto our heels for a moment, coming into our lovely thunderbolt pose. You can place your hands onto your thighs, roll your shoulders back and down. So here we're going to take a nice big inhale, and then exhale, you're simply going to twist all the ways to the right. So I like to put my left hand on the outside of that right knee, my right fingers tip down, and you're glancing over that right shoulder. Take a nice big inhale, and then switch and twist to the left, glancing over the left shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's do 1 more on each side. And come back to center. We're going to, let me see, I had 1 more, which was a nice lunge, and I think we could add that in. So you're coming back onto your table and you're stepping your right foot to the outside of that right hand. So again, you're having a little look down, making sure the knee is just tracking over the ankle, not going too far beyond it. We're just staying with this lovely lunge. We're going to curl the toes of our back foot. Inhaling up into this crescent lunge. Take a breath here, reaching up, taking the ribs all the ways out of the pelvis, and then bring the hands back down into prayer. We're going to inhale, bring the hands forward. Exhale as if you're pulling a bow and arrow. You're going to take that lovely energy through the heart, and you're extending it back, looking over that right thumb. Inhaling, we come forward. We're going to do the opposite side. Pull the bow and arrow, looking back over the left thumb. Breathing in, breathing out, opening up. breathing in, breathing out. One more, breathe in. This time we're going to breathe out, opening up to the right, and you're going to come off that left knee. You're going to see if you can straighten that left leg as much as you can, and you're just going to be here for 2 more breaths. Well done. Coming forward, back down, place the hands, and we'll just swap to the other side. So we're going to take that left foot up into that lovely lunge, curling the toes of the back, having a little check down. The knee is over the ankle. You're going to sweep up into that lovely crescent lunge. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, then bring the energy down. Take the hands forward. We're going to open through that bow and arrow all the ways to the left, looking back at that left thumb. Inhaling forward. Let's do it to the right. Open up to the right. Look back at the thumb. Breathing in. Breathe out. Lovely opening and a lovely little gentle twist as well. Let's do one more. And open. Well done. Coming forward. We're going to open to the left, but again we're going to lift that back knee off the earth. As we open to the left, you're going to straighten that leg and you're looking back at that left thumb. And we're here for 2 breaths. Inhale forward, exhale back to the ground, and come back into your table. And for you now, you can find a nice comfortable seat for our meditation. So finding your comfy place this evening. It's more of maybe a thought-provoking time rather than a meditation. Not even thought-provoking, it's more a few little insights that I enjoy bringing to you. So I hope you'll enjoy this one this week. You can close your eyes if you wish. I have it typed out here. So you can close your eyes and just maybe leave the words sink in and see if you can find meaning from them. So Dr. Richard is the founder of the Internal Family Systems Therapy, and he offers profound sights a lot of the time on healing. And we do believe that our healing is all about being in harmony with ourselves. So one of his most powerful perspectives on life is that our body holds wisdom, and true healing comes from integrating all parts of ourselves. That's our mind, our body, and our spirit, bringing those all into harmony. So he also teaches us that we're not a single fixed identity, rather we are made up of separate and different parts. Some parts have fears, desires, and some even hold wounds. And often we exile painful parts of ourselves or let protective parts of ourselves take control. And when that happens, that can lead to stress and sometimes illness and imbalance, especially emotional imbalance. So by compassionately listening to those parts, we can bring them into alignment and harmony. We can bring them to a place of calm and clarity. And that creates deep healing. So here are just some little pointers to think about. Instead of pushing discomforts away, imagine if you could turn towards them with curiosity and see what are they trying to tell you. That's probably one of my favourite ones. Because sometimes you get an ache or a pain or you're uncomfortable about somebody or something. And instead, imagine if you turned towards it with curiosity and said, well, I wonder what is that trying to teach me? The next one is regarding our emotions. And he said we should befriend our emotions rather than suppressing them. Maybe ask them gently, what do they need? Isn't that just beautiful? And the third one is self-leadership. When we lead with our authentic self, we feel calm, we feel connected and compassionate, and we create harmony within ourselves and within our relationships. So true healing is not about controlling or fixing yourself. It's about acceptance, it's about listening, it's about integrating who you are. And when we do this, when we listen and accept, our body moves away from stress and towards balance, and you have greater ease within yourself. Now, I can really relate this back to myself. A yoga teacher, I teach a lot of classes during the week. And sometimes, yes, I can get tired and drained, but I've noticed that the one thing that happens to me is my voice begins to go. So imagine instead of being frustrated with the whole thing of my voice going and trying to push through it, instead I actually sat down with myself and asked my throat, "But what are you trying to tell me this week?" And at first, as I said, it can be frustrating, but then the answers started popping up. Maybe, Caroline, you're overdoing it a little bit. Maybe you're overworking this week. So, maybe there was that part of me there in my throat area that needed to be heard. And then maybe it was so desperate to be heard as well, that the strain was there. And when I was doing this work, a little memory sort of surfaced as a child, because as a child I would be told, "Caroline, you need to be quiet." I wasn't really allowed to express my needs. My voice was never heard. I would definitely say my teacher in primary school never ever once heard my voice. So that part of me nearly had been shut down. But now as an adult, that old pattern was emerging through physical strain of my voice and my throat. So with kindness, I sort of spoke to myself, said, it's okay. You're allowed to rest. So I started doing nice little things for myself. So I would save my voice when I wasn't teaching in class. I didn't have to prove anything, so I was spending some time in calm and in peace and in silence. And I was also using some steam, which helped as well to shift any blockages within the throat area. So I suppose that helped to warm up my voice before classes. And after a week I felt so much better. I was giving acceptance and attention to that part. I was listening to what it needed, and it had things to say as well, which was lovely. And my voice actually has much improved, which I think is wonderful. So I suppose the takeaway from this is I didn't force myself to fix the issue. Instead, I listened, I acknowledged, and I nurtured the parts that were holding on to the stress. And that brought me back into a sense of harmony. And it was done through compassion for myself. So you can use this for different parts, maybe that are out of balance within your life a little bit. So it's just something to think about this week. So we'll bring our hands together to close our session. We'll bring our thumbs to our third eye, maybe have peace in our thoughts this week, to our mouth, maybe have peace in our word this week, and to our hearts, maybe have peace and love in our hearts this week. We will bow to our own hearts. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you very much, everybody.